Oh, hi! Welcome! What is the healthiest animal protein? I'm here. What's the healthiest animal protein? That is the title of our video today. Good morning, welcome. My name is A.B. Green, and I am a healthy gourmet chef. And I teach mamas how to meal prep healthy gourmet food that helps them to lose weight. It helps them to feel energized. It helps them to save time. While never dieting, while never eating boring ass diet food, and teaching their kids how to love healthy food as well. So it's an all-around win. And every week I am coming to you guys live to give you some more information to help you grow. I'm going to ask you to expand. I'm going to ask you to stretch today because we're talking about healthy animal proteins. And so if you have been with me before, you know I am all about healthy food. I'm not a vegetarian, vegan. I don't put myself in a box. It's really about eating healthy food. And today, thank you baby, we're talking about healthy animal protein. So when I ask what's the healthiest animal protein, that implies that there is one that is the best. And guess what? That's just not the case. So just like with our vegetables, we want to eat a variety. If we can, we want to eat a variety of proteins because different proteins, and here's the first thing that I hope for you to learn, is that not all proteins are created equal. And that's one of the reasons why I have a problem with the macro counting diet, which is just to say you should eat this certain amount of protein, this amount of grams of protein, this amount of grams of carbs, this amount of fat, without giving consideration to what is the source. So the source is very important. Not all protein is created equal. For more information, like comparisons, check out my blog in my most recent blog on my website, www.mamaab.com, where I show you some of the breakdowns of the different proteins. So there is, for instance, chicken breast is a very good protein, but you might even say, if you're only looking at the protein content, you might say ham is a good protein. Well, not really, because ham is processed food, and even minimally processed ham is going to have a tremendous amount of salt. Okay, so there are 5 points of grading that I would like for you to start to consider as you choose your animal protein sources. And that's what we're going to go through. I'm also going to demo for you, show you 3 ways to eat my choice, the one that rates the highest on all 5 of these points. And I'm not going to tell you what it is just yet. You may have an idea. I don't know if you can see what's in the pan, but we're going to get started. I have my little mise en place here. This is gorgeous. What I have here are chopped up or sliced up onions, bell peppers, and yellow squash. I have a little bit of avocado oil, which is what I used to cook with because it has a very high smoke point, which means it can get very hot without burning or getting damaged, okay? So we're getting our vegetables in here. And then of course I have my beautiful homemade hot sauce. It's vibrant and gorgeous. And I have half of an avocado from Jay's Farm. So delicious. Okay, so the 5 points. We're gonna go through this real quick. This is going to cook up real fast, and then I'm going to show you my favorite protein, which rates the highest on all 5 of these. One thing I want to remind you guys of, as far as eating a variety, we tend to hear something is healthy and we run with it. We will say, well here, like broccoli is very high in protein, which it is, by the way. Of course, you're not going to want to eat 2 pounds of broccoli to get the same amount of protein that you would get in 4 ounces of beef, but you know, we might hear something like something is good for us, and then we go, oh, okay, then I'll just eat that all the time. And so we need to stay away from that because just as is true for our plant varieties, the healthiest predictor of a healthy gut, or the best predictor of a healthy gut, is a variety of plants. We get different nutrients from different proteins as well. So you want to have variety, if you can, in the types of protein that you eat. So I am going to show you one of my favorite ones, but I want you to eat lots of different proteins if you're an animal protein eater. If you're not, by the way, here's a little tip for my people who are not big fans of animal protein. The issue with people who are vegetarian or vegan is that they might not be getting enough protein or the essential proteins. So there are 20 essential proteins, 11 of which we can create ourselves, 9 of which we have to get from our food. And plants don't give us, there are not plants that give us all 9, but combinations of plants do. So if you are wanting to eat vegetarian or eat vegan, always or some of the times, combining, for instance, lentils and rice, that makes a complete protein. So look up plant combinations or vegetable combinations that will help you to get all of the essential proteins that you need. Muscle, skeletal muscle is considered the fountain of youth, especially as we get older. And so as we get older, we need to be eating a lot of protein in our diet. It doesn't have to always come from animals, but we do need a lot of protein in our diet, okay? That's just a fact. So that's looking good. Okay, so here are the 5 points of gravy. The first is taste. I don't care if you tell me something is super, super healthy for you. If it tastes terrible, I'm not eating it. Okay, so taste is the first thing. I live to eat. I think a lot of people care a lot about taste. Some people are just eat to live. There are people who just say food is fuel. I don't care what it tastes like. Just give me high quality fuel and I will eat it. But for the most part, we want to enjoy what we're eating. I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of Himalayan pink salt in with my vegetables. Okay. Second is health. Of course, health benefits is important. So like we said, like ham, you know, that is a source of protein. However, it's also a source of some undesirable elements. So the health aspects of it. 3 is cost. Okay. My favorite animal protein is lobster. But lobster is $30 a pound. So how often do I get to eat my favorite animal protein? Almost never. Okay? So cost is important, right? We are, most likely, we care about the cost. Now, I'll tell you in a second when we get to the last one. Cost is important. We do want something that's going to be not going to affect our bank account so drastically. But the one that I'm going to show you today is one of the lower costing proteins. And on that note, probably the lowest costing protein where you can get very high quality would be eggs. And I'm trying not animal protein. 4 is access. Now there's 2 parts of this. Access meaning how easy is it to get to, right? Because if you're hungry and you haven't prepared ahead of time, you haven't meal prepped, you're probably not going to want to take out a piece of chicken and cook it when you can just drive through, right? The convenience part of it. So this one that I'm going to share with you is one that's extremely convenient. So access is important on that note. It's also important, so it's important if you have like a food emergency basically, but it's also important for a real emergency. We got a little taste of that last year during COVID when the grocery store shelves were being completely depleted and we couldn't find what we needed easily. And so so thinking about something that you can have on hand for an emergency, whether it's something that you're keeping in a freezer or on the shelf. And the last one is peace of mind. So again, we said taste is important, the health benefits important, the cost, the accessibility, how easy is it to get to, and then peace of mind. And so peace of mind encompasses a lot of things. I'll give you a few examples. There are certain fishes that are very delicious, high quality protein, they're good for you, but they were being overfished. And so then we couldn't necessarily get our hands on it, and if we did, we might feel bad because we're contributing to a problem. Same goes for commercially raised animal products like chicken and beef. You know, most of us probably don't know how these animals are being raised, how they're being treated, what they're being fed, which also translates to what we're taking in. But we might even say, don't tell me, I don't want to know because I don't want to stop eating that animal protein. So peace of mind is about organic. Buy organic if you can. Get it from the farmer's market if you can. I understand that that's more expensive, but the peace of mind part of it is important. And, you know, like when we think about like tuna even, for instance, which is a high quality protein, tuna, you know, even that industry has some very big issues because in those gigantic nets, They're not just grabbing up tuna. We're not going to get into that today. I'm just saying it's part of the consideration because we want to eat mindfully. So now we are done with our food. I'm going to turn this off. I'm going to show you 2 ways to eat, 3 ways to eat. My favorite protein that marks highest on all of these levels, and it is, drum roll please, sardines. I bet you didn't think I was going to say sardines. What do you think about sardines? I want to know. Do you like them? Are you grossed out by the idea? Sardines, first of all, when you're buying sardines, make sure you get them packed in olive oil, not soybean oil, which is toxic. But sardines are a very high source of omega-3 fatty oils. And that is something that we need in our bodies. We need as much of that as possible. Omega-3 fatty oils, we get it from fatty fish. But sardines, unlike big wild fish, are going to also tend to be lower in mercury because they're little fish. And also they're wild, so they're not farmed. They're wild caught, and so therefore these are sustainable sardines. You can keep them on the shelf. They last forever. And here's what we're doing here. I'm showing you a couple ways to eat it. You can eat it right out of the can. This is what it looks like. The ones that I buy are skinless and boneless, but sometimes they come with the skin and bones. The bones are so small, it's okay. You can eat the bones. It's totally fine. They won't hurt you. You won't choke on them. They're actually really good for you. Skinless and boneless. As you can see, it's a whole fillet or a whole fish, minus the head, obviously, the head and the tail. But you know what you're getting, right? As opposed to tuna, you're not really sure what you're getting, possibly. The 3 ways that I want to tell you that you can eat this is, you can eat it right out of the can. You can add it to tuna salad. I add it to my tuna salad, which is a tip I learned from an Uber driver years ago. But add it to tuna salad. The other way is you can actually put it in the pan, and that's what I've done here. I put it in the pan, a non-stick pan with no oil because it's packed in oil, and I crisped it up on both sides. And so now what I'm going to do is I am going to serve my Micah, my 17-year-old. My kids love healthy food, and they're very open-minded, except for the baby. That one is still learning, but he loves most healthy foods. So I'm going to serve Micah a sardine taco, which he's never had before, right, Micah? You're going to taste test it for us for the first time. I very simply, very lightly seasoned the vegetables. The sardines can be packed with a lot of salt, so pay attention to that. Not all are that way, but look how gorgeous is that. Mike, are you ready for this? It's going to be hot. And then we're going to dress it with my most gorgeous batch yet of hot sauce. This hot sauce is made with 4 different fresh chilies, plus some other amazing ingredients, as well as some dried chilies. And it came out so gorgeous. Baby, come on over. And so the other way, I'm going to have you turn that way. Yeah, here you go. Show them the taco. The other way is I'm adding these same sardines that are nice and crisped up onto my tabbouleh salad. So I've got like a warm, cold combination going. This is my quinoa, so it's gluten-free tabbouleh salad. So that's how I'm going to eat it. You're going to eat it as a taco.
You want me to taste it?
I do. I want you to taste it right now. And tell me what you think. I know it's going to be hot, but you can handle it. And I'm going to taste mine. The crispy fish with the cold top. What'd you think?
That's good.
Yeah?
That's
All right.
really good.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome, baby. Thank you. Easy access. It's cheap. It tastes delicious. Super healthy. Peace of mind. Those are the 5 things that I want you to take away from this. When you think about your protein choices, if you're eating animal proteins, guess what? Next week, we're talking about gluten. The title of the video next week is No Wheat, No Problem. I'm going to tell you about all of the trade outs that you can do for if you are trying to avoid gluten, which most of us need to. Unfortunately, because of the way the wheat is grown here in this country, it becomes a problem for us, an irritant. So we're going to talk about No Wheat, No Problem next week. Thank you so much for joining us. What do you think? Will you try it? Signing off. A.B. Green here. I love you guys.